So I've been trying out this Chiro gun, massage gun, that you can get on Amazon. The price point is $100 to $150, depending on the price when you get it. And I think that overall it's a fantastic value for what you get. It's reasonably powerful. And let's go over kind of some of the basics with it before we dive into some of the major benefits. So as you can see, you get this large case with it. And one of the interesting things about this massage gun is all of the attachments they provide. They provide a slew of attachments in here. There must be 10 to 15 of these. So I don't know if the average person is going to use every one of them, but at least it gives you a lot of options to choose from, right? Another interesting thing here is that they provide a lacrosse ball and another type of massage ball in the case here, which I don't know if that's a great selling point to include with a massage gun, a lacrosse ball, saying kind of, hey, you may need to also use this, but they do provide that, so take it as you will. Now, one of the things I really like about this machine is obviously the value you get for your money, basically. So for about $100 to $150, you can get a massage gun that's almost comparable, I think, in a lot of ways to something more expensive like this Theragun. So this Theragun is much more expensive. The price point is usually $400 to $600, depending on where you can pick it up. So this is a lot more expensive device. Now, I will say the Theragun feels premium in a lot of ways, right? There's a lot more movement back and forth horizontally for the Theragun, which I don't know how valuable that actually is. I will say that when comparing them, that this Chiro gun does feel almost as powerful as the Theragun, if not just as powerful. So yeah, there's that. Now let's talk about the noise level. What I'm going to do first is turn on the Chiro gun by flipping the switch down here. You'll see the battery percentage as 80% right here. Now what I'm going to do is press the power button again. It turns on to level 1. You can hear that. Now I'm going to turn it all the way up to max. It has 30 speed settings. So here it is at max. And you can see here, this is kind of just vibrating. Not a whole lot of movement back and forth. Now, if we turn on the Theragun, this is going to be interesting. So we're going to turn on the Theragun. It's on now. We're going to turn it all the way up to the max setting. And as you can see, the Theragun, it's got a lot of more movement back and forth on the massage pointer, but it's also much, much louder. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, granted, neither of these are so loud that you're going to not want to use them. I've used a modified jigsaw. Basically, you take it, there's an article we have on the site where it shows you exactly the parts to select, and I'll add the link to that article in the description. But anyway, I've used a jigsaw with a massage ball attachment, and let me tell you, that thing was very, very loud. You could not use that at 11 p.m. in an apartment, for instance. Someone would, call the police on you or something. But that offered quite a bit of power. This thing almost gets as far as the Theragun, though. I would say the Theragun, it's subjective, I would say at this point. The Theragun provides a little bit more perception of power as far as the ability to push in and cause change in your soft tissue, at least in my opinion. But I think this gets you almost all the way there for a much lower price point. So it's something I think that you should highly consider if you're not sure if you want something as, expensive and premium as this Theragun. I'm going to have a full review of the Theragun, so you can check that video in the description of this video. And let's finally talk about effectiveness of these tools. I've been doing some research because I'm curious, and I have not found solid research that shows exactly what these things do compared to something like using a lacrosse ball or a tool designed to point on pressure points in your body. So how effective are they for removing your aches and pains? I will say that they distract you from the aches and pains. And I will say that I've had some good success with them. I bought these mainly to try them out and to use them for some hand issues I've been having because I do a lot of typing. And I will say it's effective. It doesn't completely get away and cure the trigger points like some other techniques I've tried. So I think it really depends. One thing it does definitely do that a trigger point tool would not do, I would say, is that it really increases your blood flow. If you use this on your arm for, a few minutes, let's use this one. So yeah, even at any of these settings, if you use it on a spot in your arm, you're gonna feel an effect. And especially when you're done, you're gonna feel just a warmth throughout your arm, which I believe shows that that's blood flow going into that area. So I think it's very, very effective for that. Does it release trigger points? I'm not sure. I've got to try them a little bit longer and see how it goes for that. It definitely seems like it has some effect on them. I can feel some type of release, but I will say I'm not sure it's effective as perhaps just using a trigger point tool. Now, on the flip side, a trigger point tool is a lot more work, right? You have to if you're using a lacrosse ball, you've got to get on the floor maybe, you've got to get against a wall in order to apply some pressure, or if you're using a hand-based trigger point tool, you have to press down with your hand. And so that's a downside, right? It's very, very easy to use this and let it kind of apply the pressure for you. I'm just not fully convinced that it's as effective as using a lacrosse ball or a trigger point tool. I'm gonna have to try it out a little bit more to let you know. One area though where I do think it's very effective, which I was surprised by this, is the neck and shoulders. Now, either of these guns on the neck and shoulder areas is fantastic. And that's probably because with a massage ball, a lacrosse ball, or a trigger point tool that's based on the hand, it's harder to get in there, right? It's harder to get into your shoulders and kind of dig in there. And with the neck, you don't want to go digging around too hard, really. So it seems to me that the neck responds very well to these massage guns and stuff like that. Also the chest area, like if you're trying to massage out your pec minor, your pec major, then this seems to be a great tool for doing that, because it's also hard to kind of get in those areas of your body by yourself, right? So yeah, I like this Chiro gun. I think it's a great value if you're considering a massage gun and you're not really sold on the idea of it yet. I think this is a fantastic option to get because the price is not insane. And of course, if you buy it on something like Amazon, you can always return it if you don't find it to be effective. That's one great thing about buying products on Amazon. So yeah, I highly recommend this. Check it out and let us know in the comments how it goes out for you or what you think of it.